All right, September 2024 Power Rankings. What will I screw up this time? In 10th, we have Dalamar. Something really curious happened this month. Our top seven, especially the top six, but our top seven really hoarded a lot of top four finishes. And I only found nine players that had a top four finish. So I looked for who else got wins in knockout tournaments because I tend to value knockout tournaments a little more highly. And I checked who was not necessarily had won a round, but had won at least a game in TTAC. Dalamar's match isn't over. I ended up going Dalamar, but I might have missed someone. I considered Cookie as well because he won his TTAC match, but he didn't play other things. I really wasn't sure for this spot. Suffice it to say, we have a very strong top seven. In ninth, we have Deagle, who came fourth in GB 74, though with a below 100 score. But again, in this month, there were seven players that really dominated. In eighth, we have Forky, who came third in GB 74 with a barely over 100 result, not like some super strong third place finish. And we have our jump to the top seven, very clear top seven. We could definitely argue about order because a lot of them got a bunch of results. That said, seventh is pretty clear. We have Blizzard, who got semis in two of the three weekly closes that happened this month. We had three weekly closes, almost as many as we had weeks this month. Well done to the player activity on these. In sixth, we have Delial, who got a second and two semis. I normally call the weekly opens chat tournaments because that's how I'm used to thinking of them. But given that we have weekly closed and weekly opens, if they say WO and WC, I think it's more apparent to read. So that's what I've switched to. And we move to the top five, where four of the five won an event. We have fifth with Vid, who wins a GB with a really nice score, and third in another GB. 74, most players were around 100, but Vid was well above. And 75, a lot of players were well above, and Vid was one of them. Good performances in two GBs earns him fifth place. In fourth, we have Stuff. Now, technically, this did not finish in October, but also in September. It finished in early October. But also, I'm recording this after that happened because I was lazy about this. Because I'm considering stopping doing monthly power rankings. I don't I found more and more that I delay doing it because it just seems like a pain to put the sheet together and it's not particularly interesting to me. And it's really not a pain, but I think there's a fairly good chance, unless you tell me you love me and they're great and you want power rankings to continue, there's a pretty good chance I continue doing them through the end of 2024, but then stop moving forward. Uh, just a heads up on that. In third, we have Seto. Now, Seto has a decent case for second. Compared to Stuff and Vid, he not only has a win, he has a second place and a semis. So clearly a better resume than those. He's also the first and only player. He finaled all three of the first three weekly closed, only getting knocked out in round two in the fourth weekly closed. But a really nice run from him in these, and clearly has been the dominant weekly closed player so far. He also gets a semis and weekly open 63, and he has a serious case for second place, but I decided to go with Turds. Because Turds runner-up 4 events, I thought it was fitting if he also runner-up the power rankings, but notably he got 5 top 4s, which was the most of anyone. He got 4 top 2s and 4 top 3s, both of which might have been the most of anyone. Depends on if you consider a semis to be a top 3. He certainly didn't get the most top 1s. And that is why we must all wonder, is Turds washed? Can he close out events? Or is he done? Yeah, hashtag said it was robbed. And in first place, I think a pretty clear winner. We have Akiyama, the only winner of 2 events. GB 75 was competitive. Some GBs are a little less competitive, but this one very much was. He wins a tough weekly open. He semis 2 weekly closed. Akiyama is your player of the month. Think that's all I got. Last time Akiyama won Player of the Month, he followed by winning it the next month. So we'll see if history repeats or at least rhymes with its prior self. And yeah, that's all I got.